Today I'm going to be breaking down Loju by Spindle featuring Wizkid, where as usual I'm going to be talking you through the various elements that I'm picking up on as we go through it. Alright guys, so listen, I'm just going to go ahead and get straight into the video today. I'm not going to go through normal breakdowns of lyrics and themes and stuff because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm feeling a bit ropey, right? So not really up to it, but we're going to do it anyway. But apologies in advance if I don't bring the same energy. Let's get it!
She done the call now, as the party done the bus, we no go tire. And you know, say the feeling done the high now, like till the party stop and no go. Got the low lock, now we the girls want for loco. Make the girl change their record. Do you follow me and no go?
Okay, right, I'm going to stop it there. I can hear that a transition's going to come in, which means that there's going to be some further changes occur. So let's unpack what we've heard so far and then we'll get into the rest of it. Okay, so the first thing that we get opened up with is the beat. There's nothing else going on. No instruments, no additional sounds, no nothing. It's just the percussions. But if you pay attention, there is definitely something within those percussions that's changing key. Because when we open up, we get dun, 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 dun. But then as we move on, we get dun, 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 dun. So it actually makes a shift. We then get a standard transition, so a bit of a drum roll, a kind of cymbal that comes in. That takes us into Wizkid's first verse where we get the vocals, and then we get two sets of keys. The first one are these electronic type keys that are driving the melody, and then lying underneath that are some soft, subtle keys just playing some chords. And then the final thing to pay attention to, and it's okay if you didn't notice it because it is very, very subtle, but as we get to where we're at pretty much now within the song, we begin to hear Wizkid's vocals. They get layered and we get this higher range vocal that comes in over the top. Let's go back, let's listen. Right, listen to the percussions now. So shift up. There. Right, transition.
All day she done the call now, as the party done the bus, we no go tire.
Electronic keys.
Done the high now, like till the party stop and no go. Got the low lock,
Softer keys
the
there.
girls want for loco. Make the girl change their record. Do you follow me?
There's that higher range.
Follow bounce if you get stamina. Killing any beats, but then no go trying. You no get many things, I no go fi buying. You don't give me little taste, make we dey go. Make you know the shine. When anything girl I fit to make you mine. Now me they make all of the girls they call me sign. You dey wait for the loving from big bad now.
Okay, right, so before we get into the chorus, because that is exactly what we're about to hit, let's go ahead, let's unpack what we've heard in the second segment of the first verse. Okay, so the first and most obvious thing, we get that transition and then boom, the synth comes in. And this is a sound that is, or that we're hearing a lot actually within Afrobeats music, especially of late. Another thing to pay attention to is those electronic keys that I was talking about before. You notice that they actually get removed from the mix. But what we do get is two additional layers. So we get dun dun, and then we get do 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 as we get towards the end of that. Now on that second additional layer, there's two other things that occur. So firstly, we get layered vocals coming in from Wizkid. We get that higher range vocal that comes in, but this time it's actually got an effect put on it. And it may have had it in the previous one, but I just didn't hear it, but it sounds like it's been auto-tuned. Now, another thing that we get is we get a different snare. We get a do-do-do-do-do-dun like this on the snare. And that's something that we haven't had throughout the track up until this point. So let's go back and let's listen to that.
And you know, say the feeling done the high now, like till the party stop and no go. Got the low lock, now we the girls want for loco. Make the girl change the record.
Transition.
So you follow me and no go. Follow bounce if you get stamina. Killing any beats, but then no go trying. You know get many things.
There's that first layer.
Don't give me little taste, make we dey go.
And there's the second one. And what you notice there, like it's literally within very quick succession of one another, we get that additional layer, then we hear Wizkid's vocals, and then we get the hit on the snare, right? Just listen.
You don't give me little taste, make we dey go. There. But anything girl have to make you mine. Now me they make all of the
layer again.
You dey wait for the loving from big bad now. Yeah. Oh baby, me and you.
Thanks.
Kasha majadi kamadu. Shemi wolo shedu. See as you bad how you dey do. Shemi ferelu. Baby go dance as you dey do. Oh baby, me and you know you. Kasha majadi kamadu. Shemi wolo shedu. See as you bad how you dey do. Shemi ferelu. Baby go dance as you dey do.
Okay, right, so let's talk about some of the shifts and changes that have happened within the chorus. So the first, and again, the most obvious thing that I notice here is we get an additional layer. We get a ding-ding, and it's just absolutely banging, and it's the perfect time to introduce that into the track. Now, if you notice, those electronic keys that I was talking about that we heard sort of like earlier on in the song, they get brought back into the mix. Another thing to pay attention to is what's happening to Wizkid's vocals. So firstly, they're being layered. They're not being harmonized, just layered. But if you notice at the start of the chorus, there's quite a big gap between one phrase ending and the next one starting. And so what they're doing to fill that void is they just tail off the back end phrase. Then as we get further along within the chorus, this is when things get a little bit more trickier to identify because there's a lot going on and a lot of those things are subtle and they're quite intricate. But three key things to listen out for. Firstly, when we hit that second segment, we get this, right, this really nice layer that comes in over the top. I don't know what it is. It could be keys. It could be strings equally though. But we get this really nice layer coming over the top. And that's the first glimpse of that chorus starting to be padded out and becoming a lot more fuller. We also get what sounds like a little cheeky guitar riff. And we also have some variations within the keys. So again, let's go back and let's listen to that.
When anything girl have to make you mine. Now me they make all of the girls they come inside.
Right, chorus coming in.
For the loving from big bad now.
Listen to that. Thanks. Those electronic keys are in. Right, additional layer. There.
Oh baby, me and you know you.
The guitar. Key variation.
I got things all night, we gon' make you feel alright. Here we go. Feel up in and they dance attire.
Okay, right, let's just very quickly cover off some of the things that happen within Spindle's segment. Okay, so firstly, really nice contrast. We go from Wizkid singing into Spindle, who's got this kind of relaxed, chilled, kind of kicked back tone. I'm not going to call what he's doing rapping, and to be honest with you, I don't think Spindle would call what he does in this track rapping either. But either way, we get a really nice contrast. Another thing to pay attention to is those electronic keys. They get carried over from the chorus into this segment. But again, listen to what's going on with Spindle's vocals. We have a very similar scenario to what we had with Wizkid, where we've got quite large gaps between phrases. Only this time, what they do to kind of fill that void is we get yeah, rather than just a kind of tailing off of the back end phrase. Then as we kind of progress on, we do hear sort of like maybe, well, 2, maybe 3 additional layers come in. One that sounds like a electric guitar, and also, or possibly, some additional keys that come in as well. So let's go back, let's listen. Keys. They're in there.
I got things all night, we gon' make you feel alright.
Hear that?
Feel up in and on the dance attire. Tonight I want you, only you. Now only you, I just want to run back to. And I don't want no my feelings, I go call you. Maybe now only you. Take our time, we go work on it. And I go deep when you ready, if you bank on it. Let the neighbors know money. Baby girl, I go there, so them ones dancing on me.
Okay, right, I'm going to stop it there because essentially, you know, once we get into the second segment of Wizkid's second verse, it's just kind of repeated elements. But let's talk about what happens in the lead up to that. All right, so firstly, as we move out of Spindle and we go back into Wizkid, what I notice is that the synth actually gets cut. So all we end up with is the beat, and we've got those soft, subtle keys just playing those chords. But again, very similarly to what we had sort of like in the first half of the track, we do get 2 additional layers. We get dun 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 dun, right? That comes in with some strings, and we also get dun dun dun. Now, I don't know what that sound is. Sounds like a wind instrument to me, but I can't pinpoint exactly what the instrument is. Then as we kind of shift out of this first segment, that's when we get into the second segment and we can hear all of those layers coming back in. So we get the keys, we've got the synth, and all of the other things that we've already discussed. So again, let's go back and let's listen to those elements. Right, coming up. No synth. Strings. There's that second layer.
Maybe now only you. Take our time, we go work on it. And I go deep when you ready, if you bank on it. Let the neighbors know money.
Nice cut.
I go there,
now all the layers are back in.
Baby, dance up on me. If you pay the price, the baby make me come back on the daily. Man, I day attack every night we come my life. Yeah, I'm so bad, man, gonna show you life.
Yeah, that sounds back in there, bro. Yeah, Wizkid's tailing off. Now that other layer's back in. Ad-libs. Guitar, bro. Bangs, mate. Okay, that's it for me. If you want to see more reaction and analyses videos, there'll be things popping up on the screen right now. Other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will see you in the next one.